Long ago, there lived a mother with two daughters. Well, one daughter was her own, but the other was her stepdaughter. And the stepdaughter was good and kind and helpful, while her own daughter was cruel and selfish and mean and lazy. But that mother preferred her own daughter. The good girl would sit outside the house next to the well, and every day she would spin wool on a spindle. She would spin and she would spin and she would spin and do everything that her stepmother wanted. One day, she span the wool so much that her fingers started to bleed, and there was blood on the wool. So she took that spindle to the well, and she reached down into the well to wash the wool clean. But so far did she lean that she dropped the spindle in the water. She went running inside. "Oh, stepmother, stepmother, I dropped the wool inside the well." "Bad girl! Go and fetch the wool from the well and do not return without it." So she went to the well, and she did lean down and down and down. And finally, she fell. And as she fell, she did spin, and the world did spin around. And she found herself lying on her back in a beautiful green meadow with flowers that were red and blue. And she walked through that meadow of flowers. The sky was bright until she came to an oven. And inside the oven, the bread was baking. And the bread sang, take me out, or I will burn." Let's do it together. Take me out, or I will burn." So carefully, she opened the oven and she took out the hot bread and laid it carefully on the meadow to cool. And then she walked on through the flowers, which were red and blue, until she came to an apple tree. And the apple tree was hanging and was full of bright red, fresh apples. And the tree sang, shake me, my apples are all ripe. Shake me, my apples are all ripe. So she went to the tree and she shook the tree until the apples dropped. And she placed the apples carefully on the meadow. And on the girl walked until she came to a strange little house, and peering out of the window was a strange old woman with a long nose. Come in, my dear. I am Mother Holle, and you will work for me. Every day you will sweep my house from top to bottom, and then you will shake my feather bed. And when you shake my feather bed, there will be snow in the world. I am Mother Holle. Well, the girl was good, so she worked for the kind old woman. Every day she swept the house from top to bottom. And every day she took that feather bed and she shook it. And there was snow in the world. She did this day after day after day, and all was well. Mother Holle fed her with good, healthy food. But one day the girl came to Mother Holle and said, "Oh, Mother Holle, I must go back to my stepmother, for she depends on me to work." "Very well, girl, come with me." And she followed Mother Holle, and Mother Holle placed in her hand the spindle of wool which was washed clean. And she showed her through a great arch, and as she stepped through the arch, she found herself covered from head to toe in sparkling gold. And there she stood by the well outside her house. And the cockerel sang, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Our golden girl has come anew! Cock-a-doodle-doo! Our golden girl has come anew!" And she ran inside the house, and her stepmother looked at her covered in gold. "How did you get this?" And she told her everything that she had done, for she was good and kind. But the stepmother was jealous for her own daughter. "My own daughter will have this gold." So the mean and selfish daughter went outside to spin wool. And she did spin and spin and spin. But after a short time she was bored. She was lazy. And she took a needle and she pricked her finger. And she smeared the blood on the wool. And she went to the well and she tossed that wool inside the well and she jumped in. And she did spin. And the world did spin. And she found herself lying on her back in a beautiful meadow. A green meadow with flowers of red and blue. And she walked between the flowers until she came to an oven. And there was bread baking. And the bread sang, "Take me out, or I will burn." "I'll not take you out, for my fingers I would burn." And she left the bread in the oven to burn. On that selfish sister walked through the meadow, past the flowers which were red and blue, until she came to an apple tree. And the tree shone with bright red apples. And the tree sang, shake me, my apples are all ripe." "I'll not pick your apples, or my fingers I'd have to wipe." And she left the apples hanging on the tree to go rotten. And the selfish sister, why, she walked through the meadow until she came to a strange little house, and peering out of the window was an old woman with a long nose. "I am Mother Holle. Come in and work for me. Every day you will sweep my house from top to bottom. And every day you will shake my feather bed, and there will be snow in the world. I am Mother Holle." And she stepped inside and she began to work. The first day she swept the house from top to bottom. And at the end of the day she came to Mother Holle's bed and she shook the feather bed. And sure enough, there was snow in the world. But the next day, the sister was bored. And she only swept the house a little bit. And she forgot about the feather bed. And on the third day, she came to Mother Holle and said, "When can I go home and have my gold?" "Follow me," said Mother Holle. And Mother Holle took her from the house, and she led her to that great arch. And she looked up, for now she was sure that she would be covered with glittering gold. Do you think she was? Yes. She stepped through that arch and found herself covered from head to toe in foul, smelly, sticky, dark mud. And there she was, dripping with mud outside her mother's house. And the cockerel sang, Cock-a-doodle-doo! Our filthy girl has come anew! Cock-a-doodle-doo! Our filthy girl has come anew! She ran into the house, and her mother saw her and took her scrubbing brush and began to scrub and scrub and scrub. But could she clean her? No. For the rest of her life, she was covered in filthy, sticky, gooey mud, while the good girl was covered forever in glittering, shining gold.